Hello, World Tank Blitzers, it's Littlefinger. Hey, so I just put up my store review, which I typically do on a Friday. However, I wasn't sure I was going to be available to do that and wanted to just talk about the event. So make sure you check out that video. But since there's not a lot in store right now as far as potential tanks to buy, I wanted to go ahead and talk about what tanks are in the auction right now. I'll leave the link to the auction in the description below. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button or like this video. Both of those actions are free and really do help me out. So let's talk about these tanks. We've got the Super Hellcat, Tier 7 American tank destroyer, and what we all love about this tank is its mobility. Super fast, gets around the map quickly, which really does help when you're playing a tank destroyer that you probably want to play more on the back lines, just because this thing does not have any armor. The gun accuracy is pretty good. Pen is a little bit questionable. I enjoy playing this tank. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward with it being a tier 7 tank, but you can't go wrong with 3,500 gold for this. It does probably look like with 1,250 left that you'll get another day out of it, and so you could probably grab it early tomorrow morning for 3,000 gold. The next tank, which might not last too long, I think as soon as I started this video, we were at like 330 or something. The Object 907. This is a tank, tier 10 medium tank for 14,000 gold. You know, typically we see tier 10 tanks sell for around 15,000. So you are getting a little bit of a discount buying this one in the auction. And quite honestly, it is one of the better medium tanks in tier 10, in my opinion. It does have the ability to bounce a few shots off the hull. It has great mobility, and surprisingly, the gun is pretty accurate. I do enjoy playing this tank. So while it's not a super great deal right now, it is a solid tier 10, especially if you like the medium gameplay. AMX Defender here with only 1,068 left, 6,250 gold. Tier 8 light tank with a 3-shell autoloader. I enjoy the tanks that get around the map quickly. Therefore, I enjoy playing the lights and the fast mediums, and I enjoy playing this tank. Difficulties a little bit with the gun depression, gun elevation on this tank, but you can certainly make up for that by this tank's mobility. You know, you can do some surprise run-bys, whatever you want to call them, unload that clip, get to safety, and reload. I think this will probably make it till tomorrow at 6,000 gold, and anytime we see a tier 8 below 7,500, I think you're getting a pretty good deal. This one, I think, though, really is determined based upon your play style and whether or not you enjoy playing the light tanks. STG, I just am not a fan of this tank. It's very difficult to play. It's got a longer reload, higher alpha. It's got the rear-mounted gun on a very low profile medium tank with very little gun depression. So difficult, extremely difficult to play this tank in hills, which is where most of the battles occur. The gun does troll you from time to time. And so it would not be my recommendation even really to buy this tank unless, you know, it falls below this 55 to maybe to the 5,500 or below. So just want you to be warned of where the difficulties of this tank. So the Hawk 30 here, tier 8, another light tank. I think I did a review on this, so I'll try to put the link in and check that out. I've really enjoyed this tank. Again, another tank with super great mobility. It's relatively new to the game, which I guess is why the price is so high. You know, if you can wait this out a couple days and maybe 7,500 or below would be a good price to pick it up. But again, dependent upon your play style and whether or not you like this tank. You know, with the meta kind of changing away from lights and mediums, going to heavies and TDs, you know, when you're in a tank with little to no armor, you really have to be map aware and be a good player. It doesn't give you much room for making mistakes. And then we've got the Type 57, another Tier 8 heavy tank. I am not a fan of this. The gun dispersion and the reload are just way too high and too long. So many times I've been in this tank and you're one-on-one with another tank and they can easily get 2 shots in before you've reloaded and can get your second shot in. So while the alpha on it is very high, you know, you are going to be out reloaded by just about any other tank at tier 8 in the game. And then if you try to play this tank a little bit more conservatively from a distance, you know, the gun's going to troll you. So not a play style I enjoy, but the armor can work for you if you get it in the right positions. So you can see this one is going to drop by 1,000 each time. If you can get this one for 5,500, sure, jump on it. But certainly I do not recommend it for 7,500 gold. And then finally, right now is the Skoda T45. This is a tier 7 tank. And heavy tank, 4,500, very low alpha. It's like 220 or something on its alpha here for a heavy tank at tier 7, which means you've got to be on target, firing more often. Not a bad price for a tier 7 tank, but yeah, I'm sure you're going to be able to wait for this one to get down to about 4,000 and you pick it up there for not a bad price. But again, tier 7 is kind of that awkward tier where you're going to be mostly in tier 8 battles anyway. So just keep that in mind. So that wraps up the auction for the rest of, I guess, until December 28th, 29th. And we'll see some new tanks get added in. But anyway, guys, have fun out there. Stay safe, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.